We are all feeling the pinch of higher prices at the grocery store this year, and a new report says that's likely going to get worse in 2026. But hang on with me. Dalhousie's latest food price report has just been released. It says a typical family of four is going to spend nearly $1,000 more on food next year. Boy, that's hard to hear. With a closer look at the findings is Sylvain Charlebois. He is the lead author of the report. Listen, I know you're the messenger delivering a really hard message. What are factors that are going to drive up the price of foods in 2026? What are we dealing with?
Well, first of all, we're 8 universities and 25 co-authors. I'm just lead here. And so we've actually looked at the numbers, went through them many times. And so we use AI and machine learning to help us forecast. And unfortunately, numbers aren't great. 4 to 6% increase across the board. And the main culprits are meat. Again, meat was actually a big driver for 2025. It will continue to remain a driver for inflation in 2026. So when you look at the meat trifecta, beef, pork and chicken, all three of them are likely going to be more expensive in 2026. And the other section that we rarely talk about is the center of the store: pantry goods, dry pasta, sauce, nuts, coffee. We're expecting coffee to get more expensive again in 2026. And so those are the things that are likely going to drive food inflation higher in the new year.
So that's the headline. Let's dig into some of the numbers. And starting with the largest price increases being 7.2% overall. Beef, that was in meat. Beef, even higher at 9%. You know, you mentioned some of the things that we're going to see as an overall increase for next year. Why pantry goods?
Currently there's a restructuring in the industry. A lot of CPG companies like Nestle, Kraft Heinz, Dr. Pepper Curry, they've all announced restructuring, and we're likely going to see probably a lot of products being dropped in 2026. So less competition. There's going to be, because of that restructuring, we are expecting higher prices. There's been, we've seen more private labeled products as well in 2025. We're expecting a slowdown for that. That typically would bring prices down, but it's not going to happen in 2026. So the center of the store essentially will be more expensive because of those reasons.
Okay. You know, people probably notice this when they're doing their comparative shopping. So they're not buying American, but they are looking at other countries and predominantly trying to buy Canadian. But in some parts of the country, take beef, for example. Beef that's shipped all the way here from Australia is selling for less than beef that's produced right here in Canada. Why is that?
New Zealand as well, yeah. It's first of all, logistics, using water for logistics is typically quite cheap, and producing beef in Australia, because of their weather, it's actually cheaper than in Canada. In fact, this is the reason why inventories are so low in North America and in Canada, is because producing beef is more expensive, feed costs are higher, and because of the economic uncertainty, overwhelming economic uncertainty, you need a strong economy to produce beef and to get consumers to eat beef. That's not the case right now in both Canada and the US, and that's why inventories are so low. Americans are also importing beef from Brazil and Argentina as well, so it's not just us.
Not all parts of Canada are going to feel these price jumps equally in the next year. So to break this down, Ontario, Quebec, Alberta, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia, they're going to see above average price increases in 2026, but not so for the others. Why is that?
So essentially, we're looking at cycles. Typically, when a province gets a bit of a break one year, the next year, typically food inflation is higher, essentially. But sometimes we look at competition, we look at restructuring. And in the province of Ontario, for example, we are not expecting new stores or as many new stores as past years. So that's certainly one factor that actually affects food inflation in one province. Quebec, same thing. We saw many discount stores opening up in recent years. Yeah, that's not going to happen in 2026.
Okay, let's talk grocery stores really quickly. They have become a target once again. Farmers are mad, saying that some of this responsibility lies on the grocery stores. So the Grocery Code of Conduct takes effect in January. What impact will we see on prices in the new year? How does that help us?
Yeah, we talk about it in the report. I think it's a really critical policy brought forward by Ottawa and provinces. It's important because a lot of people are thinking that grocers are gouging or profiteering against consumers. Well, in fact, they're gouging vendors up the food chain. It's been very tough for processors to really deal with Loblaws and Walmart. This code of conduct will discipline the market, and this is so important for consumers. Why? Because it will allow for processors to survive and basically sell products to the market at a lower price, giving more options and more competition to consumers. So that will help us over time if successful. But we heard yesterday Loblaw did sign on as a member, so that's a good sign.
Sylvain Charlebois, I know it's tough news to deliver, but we appreciate the context behind it. Thanks for coming on this morning.
All right, take care.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.